Who's this coming? Oh, I'd like to take him. Who would you? Hello, Tim.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Barry.
Me. It's only Punmeister, former world record holder, and frankly, national treasure is Tim Vine.
Oh, Barry,
Get
what a
in.
pleasure. Oh, well, yes, what a lovely cab.
Oh, isn't it lovely? Yes,
Yeah.
the Austin 4.
Pardon me?
The Austin 4.
Oh, the Austin, you can't afford it.
No, it's a beautiful old thing.
I've got one much more showy, ostentatious, mine.
And we're off. Now, Tim, where do you want to go?
In the back, I think. There's not enough room in the front, is there?
No, that's right. Well, listen.
Oh, you mean where to the journey-wise?
Yeah, journey-wise. Get in the back.
Right.
And I normally just go in the front. You learn that. First day of learning the knowledge.
Oh, they tell you where to sit, do
Oh,
they?
yeah, but we're not going to get nowhere with both of us in the back, Tim.
Yes, because the first exam, you sat in the boot, didn't you? It didn't work.
It didn't work at all. Tim,
Yes.
where do you want to go, please?
I'd like to go to any theatre.
Any theatre
Yes.
in the West End? Or...
Oh, not there, no.
No, not quite any theatre.
No, yeah, any theatre. In the West End,
Okay.
yes, in the West End.
There's one up Inverness Way if you fancy going all the way
Oh,
up there.
I've played
it might
that
be
one.
a bit pricey. Have you?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
blimey.
Long way to go.
Tim, this is ticking away, the clock now. I'm quite happy for the meters to
Yes,
be
well, I
running,
mean,
but
yes.
specifically, where do you want to go?
Specifically, then, I'll go to... I'll go to the Wakefield Opera
I'm
House.
not going all the way up there. Where else do you want to go? Not this
That's
time
the
of night.
that's the theatre. Just drop me at the station. I'll go up to Wakefield
All right,
Opera
let's
House.
go. Let's get to the station. Which one is that to
Oh,
Wakefield?
God,
King's
Wakefield.
Cross, isn't it?
The King's Cross, probably, yeah. But hang on a minute. Have people who've come into your cab before, have they asked to go to King's Cross? I'd quite like to ask to go to somewhere that you haven't been before.
That is client confidentiality, Tim. I can't tell you who's been in and where they wanted to go. There've been a variety of footballers, so I don't
Have
suppose
they?
their wives knew where they was going anyway.
No, well, that's King's Cross, yes.
No. Cheeky git. Tim,
Yes.
you do love the theatre, which is probably why you want to go there. Are you doing anything at the moment? I mean, let's get the plug-in out of the way. You got anything you want to sell?
I mean, talking of theatres, I said to my mum, I said, I'm going to buy a theatre.
And what did she say?
She said, are you having me on? I said, I'll give you an audition, but I can't promise.
He's so good at it. I thought of a pun the other day.
Yes,
It's a
go on.
lovely one. Oh, it's a lovely one.
Yes.
I always do this. Occasionally I do my little presentations for
Yes.
friends and family.
I've seen you do your presentations
Yes,
before.
haven't you?
I saw you in Edinburgh do your presentation, and I immediately became a fan of yours.
Oh, isn't he lovely? Well, I do this for a bit of pin money.
Do you?
Here.
Pin money?
The amount of pins I need to buy, for...
Right.
Anyway, but I tell you what, I would say, 65 years ago, I decided to marry my best friend. Margaret was furious, thought I was going to marry her. And then I go, no, it's a lady called Jean. Jean!
Yes.
She fell off the radar. She was cleaning it at RAF Northolt, 70 foot, quack, stone dead.
Well, it's interesting you should mention that because it's reminded me that I've just split up with a purple vegetable. I said it's aubergine.
Oh, my goodness.
But anyway, you were in the middle of saying about
No,
this.
this is the other one. I
Yes.
went to, Pets at Home. Pets at Home! Get a few little treats for my dog. I went in there.
Pets at Home?
Pets at Home. It's a store for...
Right.
for
Is there
pet-
another place to keep pets?
Slightly ruining the flow.
Oh, sorry.
We get into the pets. It don't matter. Who's to tell a professional how to do it?
I'm used to having a straight man. I need to be the straight man in this
Definitely,
situation.
please,
Yeah,
if you
just-
could. So I went in there and I said to the lady, I said, dog treats for me dog. It's not so funny when you say that at the same time. And I said, I'm looking for is it a toilet, a customer's toilet? I said, no, we do it all online now, you see. We're doing online trials, so no room for a customer's toilet, you see. I said, oh, OK. I said, can you tell me where the poo bags and the scoops are? I said, well, if you're that desperate, you can use the staff one. When he could, he's a lovely straight man. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, so, Tim, where are you? Are you performing in a theatre any time?
No, I've been
soon?
trying to... No, not really, no. At the moment, I'm trying to get some new stuff together.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, some new material. Well, actually, I've got a lot of new material, so I'm sort of trying it out.
Right.
And I don't know what your process is with... well, you don't really write material. You tell us about your life, and we and we love it. You're not a comedian as such, are you? You're a taxi driver.
No, they're well, for the purpose of this, I am a taxi driver. But what I do in terms of writing material, I've got all day to sit here looking out the window.
Yes,
thinking
it's a safer way to drive. If you're going to drive, it is safe to look out the window.
I don't have it in me joke book. No, I don't. I do. It's the best way to do it. I
saw a taxi going sideways. It was a mini crab. But
oh, blood.
But what I basically do is I write loads and loads of stuff, and then when I've got an enormous amount of it, I then hire a place and do the whole night myself. So last week I did that a couple of nights where I did like 2 hours. The poor audience, honestly.
You do?
And they're like, please let us out.
Friends and family or
well,
fans?
If they were, they weren't at the end. No. It's just like an art centre or something, and then people turn up. A small place, maybe I was 100 or something, and then they come in and have to sit through it all, and then I cross most of it out.
Do you? As some people do, I've seen Simon Brodkin do it and other people, they literally get on the stage, they've got a pen and paper in hand, they're literally reading off a pad of paper. Do you do that, or do you think that's a little bit much for people?
Well, what I do, the first time I go on holding a postcard.
Yes.
And so I've got stuff written on the postcard. Yeah. So I don't have a pad of A4, it's smaller than that.
Okay.
To be fair. So then I might do 10 minutes with that. And then when I've done lots of 10-minute ones, then I do the 2-hour thing. And the 2-hour thing, I have a great big piece of board.
Yeah.
I have about 8 of them with they're like scaled up postcards, and they're on the floor leaning slightly towards me, like they're leaning on a monitor. And then I don't have to hold anything, and I just look at these things, and every now and again they go, we've done another board, another card done. Good. And they go, hooray. Well,
That's really good. Do you, there are some places, sorry for anyone at home, this is getting quite technical about
it is a bit, isn't it? Yeah.
But there's a place I go to, you might know it, it's in Kennington, just over the water.
Yes.
And they do a show there, Always Be Comedy, and they're a lovely audience. If anything, too nice.
Well, that can be a problem.
They can't they? And you go, you don't have to courtesy laugh at me because it's not doing me any favours.
Well, that's the thing in a strange way. I did Friday and Saturday last week. The Friday was nice. The Saturday was a bit harder. Yeah. To the point where I came off thinking, what on earth am I doing with my life? That sort of thing. Yeah. And but the soundman said, you don't want them to be too. If they laugh at everything, you're not going to learn anything, are you?
Well, that's true.
So you've got to go through the pain barrier of them not laughing at things.
Absolutely. Now I've seen you do a lot.
I'm over here.
When you do your act, you do make a lot of props. Make a lot of props, don't you?
I do, yes.
When I've done little bits and bobs on the stage, if there's one thing I hate...
Props.
...is going to get props.
Why?
I think it's indecent. I do. I think there's people of my age and slightly younger who are doing triple heart bypass surgery. They're not buying something that looks a little bit phallic or something that's got a sort of comical sort of edge to it anyway. And I think, it's humiliating. Do you ever think, why have I spent... particularly if
I do sometimes.
Work.
Exactly. Well, if something doesn't work, I think a prop's really got to work for me to give it the time of day. Sometimes I did a thing the other day, which I thought in my mind might be funny, called stunt luggage. Right. And so the music's going, stunt luggage, like this. And then I started sort of kicking these cases around that were on wheels and they were flying off stage and stuff, The audience was just staring at me,
Yeah,
and I thought, there's no way on earth I'm ever going to do that again. Certainly the idea of, I could maybe film a funny sketch with it or something, but to take something around that's quite big...
Oh, yeah.
I just would resent it.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to have a proper laugh, otherwise you think, why am I carrying you around everywhere?
Are you on the tube with people trying to squash by and you thought, if you only knew that what I've got in here...
Well, I saw inside your case earlier on and I thought, gosh, if they only knew what was inside your case.
Oh, I've got my sandwich. I do like my sandwiches.
Big sandwich.
I do like my big sandwiches. I have to have got a nice flask.
What's your favourite filling for a sandwich?
I do like an egg mayonnaise. I do like an egg mayonnaise and with some chopped spring onions in it.
Oh, crikey.
But it is sometimes you open it up in public, it stinks. And no one likes that, do they? What is your smelly sandwich of choice, Tim?
I don't really like onions and things, so I would say, maybe my smelly sandwich of choice might be tuna, actually.
It does stink. but it's blooming nice. Why don't you like, just getting back to the important, why don't you like onions, for goodness sake?
I'm just not crazy about them in sandwiches. I like onions, but not crazy about stumbling on one in a sandwich. I have a similar attitude towards stumbling on bananas. I don't really like, and I don't mind occasionally finding a bit in a fruit salad, but it wouldn't be my choice to get a banana, peel it and eat it.
Right. No, fruits, and I don't like it when fruit mixes with savoury.
No. Oh, no, I can't stand that. No, I know. Ham and pineapple.
Who'd have that?
No, I agree, yeah.
Foreigners.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, it's not right, is it? What about in the old days? We used to have a curry. Lovely curry. Lovely curry.
My mum used to give us curries with, and he'd have like sultanas in.
No,
I've never seen
like that. Never heard
I never
of it.
liked that. I thought I didn't like curries, but it's just what my mum used to do.
I'm not mad on, and we'll get off this fruit-based material shortly, the pineapple in anything. It's too strong, pineapple.
I don't mind pineapple on its own. You don't like pineapple?
I don't
like pineapple juice?
No, I don't care for it at all.
Right.
But what do you have during lunch? Because I'm trying to give up the bread. Doctor said, no bread.
Yes, I'm trying to give up bread a little bit as well.
What do you have instead of bread?
Silence. What I try and do is, what I'm trying to do at the moment is I'm thinking to myself, do I really need 3 meals a day?
Right.
So if I think I'm trying, of course none of this has succeeded. I should go out and have a burger or something after this.
Yeah.
But I try and think, well, maybe if I have a smaller lunch, maybe I can have a bigger dinner.
Right.
At the moment, I'm just having big everything. I'm ballooning.
I went to that's inflation. It's pathetic. I went to the doctor recently.
Oh, dear.
No, that's true. And he says, honestly, what, your organs have been covered with a layer of your own fat. Your own fat. It's called, adipose tissue. He said, you're turning into a human pig in blanket almost, sort of thing. I said, I've got aching down one side. He said, I dropped my shirt off and that. He pointed to the side, he said, that is shingles. He pointed to his side, he said, that is Pringles. So try, no doubt about it. But it's very difficult, isn't it? This is a lovely cue for you to give us some nice doctor.
Well, I went to the doctors.
I knew you had.
I said, whenever I pass from one country to another, I have to get drunk. He said, you're borderline alcoholic.
This is why they pay the big
I said, I've got this urge. Hang on, let me try and think of this one. It's been a while since I've done it.
Okay, don't worry, I'll look out the window, see where we're going. You ever think? We've only got a short time.
I've got this urge to stand... No, wait a minute. That's it. I've got this urge to be burst like a balloon while standing on fish skin.
Oh, hold on just a minute. Standing on fish skin.
He said, hold on, I'll pop you on the scales. That's it.
Absolutely superb. Tim, you are a former world record holder.
Apparently.
Of the most pounds. Was it 499?
499.
In 8 hours.
No, 1 hour.
In 1 hour?
Yeah.
Oh, blimey. How did you remember those? You have a system, do you?
Well, I had to... Well, basically, at the time, which was in 2004, it was a while ago, I think it was in my first DVD was coming out, and they were trying to find some way of promoting it. Yeah. And someone said, why don't you try and break this record that's, most jokes told in an hour. Yeah. And when I looked at the record, it was 362, the previous record, and I thought,
Well, I
thought I broke that last Friday.
Yeah, exactly.
I just had that sort of act.
Yeah, of course.
So I just got rid of the songs for one evening and just did all jokes.
Well, I will say this, and I've seen Tim, and anyone out there who's...
You've seen anyone out there?
I've seen anyone out there. If you see Tim, there are some people who do puns, and stop me from getting too technical, they're shit. Tim is very, very good. Very good puns, excellent puns. They're not just pointless.
Well, actually, and also, I don't. People say that I do puns and stuff, and I do puns, but actually, I'm not crazy about writing puns. Sometimes I think to myself, God, stop writing flippy. I'm just writing words that rhyme with each other. So I like some mixing up a bit,
Yeah, wordplay. I wouldn't say
puns
wordplay.
Is
a short way of saying.
I mean, that borderline alcoholic thing, that's not a pun as such as wordplay, isn't it, like you said?
Okay, well...
I don't know, what's a pun? Is a pun just something with two different meanings? I don't know. Maybe a pun means wordplay as well.
pun is sort of wordplay, but it's specifically on... I'll tell you what I think it is. It's specifically all about the word. The way you do it, it's got a comical edge. The notion of what you're saying.
The notion.
The notion of what you're saying. Now, I want to ask you this, seeing that a lot of people will be listening to this, anyone who's still listening
tuned
to
in.
it.
Well, I will be at this point.
Okay.
I will have gone in very deep and I'll be up to this point, maybe even go for another 10 minutes.
Okay, I want you to tell me, because there are some football fans, sports fans, and you are a sports fan, Simon.
Oh, yes.
We'll get on to the darts in a minute, but Sutton United.
Oh, yes.
United.
Yes.
How did you get into that, and how often do you go?
I don't go very often.
Oh, but you're a friend of Sutton. What does that involve?
Well, Sutton United is a family club, you know, and in fact, I call the chairman Dad, and will continue to do so until the blood tests prove otherwise. But it's just a great little place,
I thought he was a Chinese friend, Chairman Ma, instead of Pa. Don't worry, we'll edit that out in a minute. Chairman Ma, go on, Dad.
But so it's about a mile from where I was born. Is the point? Yeah. In fact, I always say it's a stone's throw from where I was born. In fact, the first thing I remember saying was, "Who threw that?" But right. but I only went once in 1988 initially, right. And then for years I didn't go at all. And then what happened was I was being interviewed in a situation a bit like this, which was vaguely sports related. Yeah. And someone said, "Who do you support?" And I thought, well, I support England. And they said, "Well, yeah, but what club?" And I didn't really have a club as such. So I said, well, Sutton United, my nearest club. And Sutton United got wind of this and they then invited me. And then since then, over the last 15 years or so, I've now become a fan.
So you're sort of in love with that
I was press ganged into loving the club.
Okay. Now, but
I do. It's great. It's a great place. And it is the one that would be, it's the one nearest where I was born. That should be the one we all support.
Oh, very much so.
What's the one nearest where you were born then, Barry?
Vicarage Road.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Vicarage Road, I'll go there. Oh, yeah, I remember Elton when he was a whippersnapper, Elton John. You go there now, he's swanning around that Marie Antoinette wig, trod on my toe. Sorry was indeed the hardest word with that occasion. But, Elton's there. He sat on the roof and picked off the moss. That was at the Vicarage Road end. He had to do all the stuff there, done all the maintenance. Now, listen, please tell me this. So it's not a deeply held political view that somehow, football ain't what it was, I'm going to grassroots. It's just...
No. I mean, I do like the fact that you go along and you have a nice lunch there. And
you can get a game, probably, the way
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nice lunch.
We have a lovely lunch, then you watch the ball in the air for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And you go home. It's
lot of throw-ins. If you like throw-ins, it's great. Okay, so that's the Saturday night. Now, I know one of your passions is darts. Love the errors, don't you?
Well, in the dressing room before, which I was sharing with you before this moment, I was very lucky to meet you.
Yes, before the conceit of coming out and getting in the cab, you mean, yeah.
When I say dressing room, I mean I call those sort of cab huts dressing rooms.
Yes,
those green things in London.
No one will notice.
No. And we were there with the other cabbies.
The other cabbies,
putting on their trousers.
We call it a dressing room. They were putting their trousers on, fiddling with their nose inexplicably. Yeah, go on. And they, in this dressing room stroke cabbies
there's
office,
a dartboard.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
And someone who helps with the maintenance of your cab, Lucy, I said to her, can you name a double? She said double top, and I dropped all three about 4 inches lower than double top. Yeah. She then left the room. My next three darts, 140.
I can confirm.
And then I left it there.
He left it there, 140, bang, bang, bang.
Yes. I was going bang, bang, bang as I threw them. That's how
I don't know why you do that. It's inexplicable. I heard you beat the Crafty Cockney, didn't you? The Crafty Cockney and English, no?
Well, he used to do these exhibition things with Russ Bray. You know Russ Bray, who goes, what?
Yes,
a bit like your uncle in terms of voice. And people used to say his voice was like a dog fighting a thunderstorm. Which was fantastic when he used to do that.
Brilliant,
But anyway, so it was him and Keith Deller. And so I went along one time and I played it. And it was best of 3 501s. And I did win 2-1. But this is Bristow years after he'd had the dartitis and all that. So I didn't really beat Bristow. I beat someone Well, I beat
the
Bristol
fact that you
2-1.
punched the air and done a
Oh, it's honestly, you can't
round
imagine
the
what it
pub.
felt like. I mean, I won the first leg, and I thought immediately I need to ring my dad, and tell him I've just taken a leg
In front of Eric.
yeah, exactly. The second leg, I was shaking, and so it was completely disastrous. And then I told myself in the third leg, pull yourself together, Vine. You could actually win this.
Yeah.
And amazingly, I did. That's not like me. Normally, the bottle continues to go.
Were you magnanimous, or did you...
He was magnanimous because he's,
You didn't clap him round the chops and go, hey, how about that? That was a lesson.
No, listen, he knew I was a big fan of his. I remember it was an embarrassing thing, actually, when I first met him. Yeah. And I said I had this theory that when people, the best dart players, they have part of their finger is touching the point.
Right.
And he picked up a pen, Bristow, and he goes, well, I hold the dart like that.
Right.
And I looked at it and said, yeah, I hold it like that as well. Well, what an idiot. Of course I did. I copied him, didn't I, when I was 14?
Oh, of course. It is... Do you know what? I've met a lot of showbiz people and all that. And when I meet sporting greats, that is much more thrilling to me than anything else. Right?
Yeah.
You know that.
Give an example of a sporting great that you've met that you've...
Kenny Jackett. Kenny Jackett! I met... Hey, who is he?
Well, not who is he?
Come on.
Who is he then?
Kenny.
Who does he play? Kenny plays for...
Well, he used to play for Watford.
He's played for what? Watford, right?
I met him because my grandson's a big Wolves fan. And this is true, right? And people always say...
Goes out at night, does he?
That's right, howling. No, what happened was we was at QPR and my grandson was a mascot. This is true, for Wolves against Queen's Park Rangers. And Kenny comes, and people will always tell us about Kenny. He's a football man. He's a football man. He will talk to anyone about football. And in front of my grandson, he comes up and we're chatting away about Wolves, and I'm a Watford fan. I was keen to chat to him, and he went, "Nah, to be honest, just going to be a question of avoiding relegation this season. Not much can happen." I was like, "Don't say that in front of him." It was startlingly, honest.
Yeah, right.
And I couldn't believe, but it was a joy to see him, And I sat in the director's box with his charming wife and his two boys. Stan Bowles, this is true. Stan.
Does he bowl Stan Bowles? Does he? Great. That's good to know that he's still doing that.
He's still connected. It's a wonder. Stan Bowles' daughter, Tracy, I know her.
Tracy Bowles.
Tracy Bowles. She doesn't know. But honestly, it's a thrill to meet these people.
His son, Cyril.
Come on. Now, I do want to ask about this, because this is deadly serious.
Right.
Without a word, without a hint of irony, you do an Elvis tribute act called Plastic Elvis.
I do, yeah.
Tell me about that. Aren't you tempted to do some funnies during this?
Well, I am. It's sort of. I'm in character as Elvis throughout, but I am being sort of amusing. I mean, I go on in this black plastic jumpsuit, and my first line when I've done the first song, I say, I see some of you looking at me saying to yourselves, that reminds me, I must remember to put the bins out. Yeah. And that always gets a good laugh.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of do, Elvis used to do sort of...
Oh, bit of material.
A bit of stuff, didn't he? But I don't do any actual, I don't do stuff like, so I've got an Elvis joke. So Elvis was climbing out of his swimming pool for the 10th time.
Yeah.
And Priscilla said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I can't help falling in love." Now...
Before Elvis died, he put on a bit of weight. He was having pies, pasties, sausage rolls. In fact, in the words of the rapper Coolio, he was living in a gangster's paradise, that fella.
Poor Elvis. I mean, Cliff Richard said if it wasn't for Elvis, there never would have been Cliff Richard.
Well, that's right.
You can't blame Elvis for that, can you?
But
I like Cliff as
you
well.
are absolutely, Cliff, if you're listening, please come in my cab. Don't worry about him. No, Tim, I heard you saying you were intoxicated by Elvis. He'd done a lot of that himself, let's be fair. But
I don't like all these things that he...
No, he's lovely.
I love Elvis.
And so do
I. Especially because the end of his life was a genuine tragedy, wasn't it?
Keep it light. And Tim, thanks a lot for that. Don't worry, we're nearly there, folks. Tim, yeah, so what is it particularly about him? Because you are a lovely...
Remember Marilyn Monroe? Yeah, go on.
You're a lovely English fella. You're sort of...
Well, it is. I mean, I think I'm one of the only people to do an Elvis tribute act. I don't think there's many of them.
No, I've never heard of it before. No.
That's the only slight thing, is it's not desperately original, isn't it? That, I mean, I've just happened to have chosen the most charismatic performer, and I'm said to me he was the most charismatic performer, so I'm not adding anything new to the...
No, but what does it... Do you feel like you're channeling him in some way? What does it give the audience that, Rob Brydon or Pete Storm is a friend of mine? Brilliant Elvis guy.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. You'd have to ask someone else who watched it, but there's humour in it throughout.
Yeah.
But the band are amazing, though. I mean, we've got this five-piece band who do it all absolutely incredible. So, I mean, maybe, as I say to people, it's really a vanity project. I'm not saying you know what I mean by that, but
I don't. No, you can't be vain in my game. But Tim, please tell me. So when you do it, because I heard you saying in an interview, I've done research in that what we call dressing room, where all the other cabs,
where the cab drivers,
where the cab drivers hang around,
the sausage rolls,
sausage roll. I don't be flaky about that. Now the thing is,
I went to the baker's. I said, "Can I have a sausage roll?" He said, "Do you want me to put it in the microwave for you?" I said, "Yes, please." And he came home with me. Anyway, go on, yeah.
Well, I've heard you saying before, Tim, that you do stuff that you fancy doing. I have never done that in my life.
Yes, you have. You're not doing all this for someone else, are you?
Well, I'm earning some money from this, but I don't just have a notion and go, look, it don't matter what people like. No,
of course you do. You had a notion that you'd like to be a cab driver.
I had a notion I had to pay my mortgage. That's the notion I had, mate. Blimey. Tim, please tell me, what are your plans? You're not flogging anything at the moment, but you're going to do a show and you're coming up.
Well, I did do an Elvis, like a pretend Elvis film.
Film?
But it was really... Very good, very good. Because you know about it already, but very good. Very lovely.
I come in a little bit too quickly. I come in too quickly. A film? Yeah, go on, a movie like. Yeah.
Talking of which, you say a film. I've got a friend from Ireland, and he says it's got a lovely lyrical way of talking. Yeah. He says film instead of film.
How lovely.
Yeah, and he said to me, he said, I went and saw a film the other day. Yeah. He said it was awful. He said. I said, they're not as good as they used to be, are they? You know, and he said, I went and saw the same film a week later. He said, it was still awful. I said, we're going to see the same one again for? He said, I'm going again next week. I said, why do you keep going to see the same film? He said, I've got a season ticket. I said, Fulham. Oh, sorry, right. Anyway, we'll put the last on later. What was the question again?
I don't know. It was you've done a film about Elvis.
Yeah. Well, it's not really about Elvis. It's like one of those 60s Elvis films like Blue Hawaii. So it's Elvis playing a character.
Right. Yeah. And
I wrote loads of songs for it, and I showed it to my friends, and that's all I've done with it at the moment. I might do something else with it.
What can you get distribution for it? I mean, is it like a home video? Is it?
I don't even understand that sentence. Can you get distribution for it? Immediately, I don't know what that means. I don't know about you. The whole technical side of things, I don't know how's that done.
You're not a technical person. The other day, I got in touch and said, "Can I meet you outside TalkSport house?" And you said, "Are you on iMessage?"
Yes, and that's technical, isn't it?
Well, it sort of is, but no one really.
Don't they?
No, they go, well, whatever comes through on the text, and if you are on an Apple product, it will come through on iMessage.
But you don't have Apple, then?
No, I do, but I started thinking, what's this other thing? Am I supposed to sign up to this iMessage?
Well, it's because, and people watching will see, I have a Nokia. I'm holding that up now.
I can vouch that Tim has got a very cheap, crappy phone.
That's right.
Which doesn't have Apple Pay on it, so I hope you've got
there's
some
a bit
cash.
of apple juice on it, but that's because that was in there.
I hope you've got some cash on there. Cash is king.
Cash is king.
Cash is king. Yeah,
not so much, but
not so much nowadays.
No.
But so you're not a technical person. But what would you do with the film? What are you going to do with the flipping thing?
I don't know.
Record the Top of the Pops over it or something eventually, or what? What are you going to do with it?
Yeah, no, I might do that. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But I mean, that's one thing I've got going on. And then the other thing is, like I'm saying, I was trying to get some new material together. Other than that, I'm just enjoying the sunny weather, depending on when this goes out.
Tim, it won't be going now, don't worry about that. Tim, we're just pulling in now from King's Cross Station.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, Tim, it's been an absolute disaster. But what's lovely is it's so nice to see you again.
Listen, last time I arrived at King's Cross Station, there were people running around in panic, screaming. Mind you, I was arriving in a light aircraft, but...
Oh, wonderful. Well, look, Tim, if I always ask my people this, given the banter, the badinage, the lovely bonhomie, if you were, say this cost £50, it wasn't considerably more expensive than that. If it was 50 quid, what sort of tip would you give me?
I'd give you at least a tenner.
Oh, no, that's all right.
Is that all right?
That's all right.
I normally say at this point, what's the damage?
And go on, what is the damage?
Well, because I stuck a penknife in the back of your seat there, and I've just caused a bit of a rip at the minute. And what sort of review would you give on Google, which is something you can access through the internet? Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah,
well, when I get home, if I was still thinking about the cab ride,
there you go. Go on.
I'd give it 5 out of 5. Is it 5?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
5 out of 5. Tim Vine, you are the greatest person I've ever had in this cab. Right. So thank you very, very much.
I've seen the list of previous guests.
Yes.
High praise indeed.
That's right, yeah. All right. Thanks, Tim. Lots of love.
Take care. Bye.
Let's buckle up with Barry. Put out through TalkSport, wherever you get your podcast. Thank you.